Hello, ladies, gents, and non-binary pals. Yes, I stole that intro from somebody else, from another famous YouTuber. Yes, I know. Plagiarism is fun. No, I'm kidding. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Chillin Villain, where it's a podcast where I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. Today, this person does not need any special introduction because you already know him. He is the creator of Object Mayhem. He is an amazing person, and he has a obsession with a musical note. Here he is, Ultratoons.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Object Mayhem, or Andy's podcast. So that's my introduction. I mean,
Yes,
I do expect something more spontaneous, but there it is. That's me.
We love ourselves. We love ourselves a spontaneous introduction. So how are you doing?
I'm all good. Just woke up about 11:30. So that was about an hour and a half ago, and I was like, yeah, I'm ready for this podcast. So here we are.
I mean, that's better than myself. I only woke up like 20 minutes ago, looked at my phone, and was like, oh yeah, podcast time.
I mean, it is what it is. We're here anyway, so it's all good.
I'm just going to let the adrenaline kick in. That's my coffee. So, coffee's for the week. Anyway. And looks like Ultratoons have actually lagged out now, so they'll be back in like a couple of minutes, guys. How you guys doing? Yeah, it's early in the morning. Sorry, guys. So today episode's going to be a bit early today because because of a lot of reasons. One of the reasons was that
Okay, back.
Yeah, I kind of had a funny feeling. One of the reasons is that like yourself requested that we do this a bit earlier than usual. I didn't mind doing it early to this time, but it obviously just because the fact that most of you are either just waking up or you guys are just like still asleep. So I'm not expecting a lot of people to come on here, but maybe we'll see more and more people in an hour or something.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty early for most of the people that live in America. I mean, we're fortunate enough to live in Europe, and you're in the UK, and I'm in Ireland, so it's a very convenient time for us. But for everyone else,
right?
Most of the object show community is based in America. Probably like 56% of it, or probably more than that. So, yeah. There's barely any. I don't know. Like, there's more UK object show community people than there is Ireland. Because in Ireland, there's probably maybe 100 people that are in the object show community that I know of anyway. Not that I know of, but that I've seen on my channel or commenting or anything like that. So, but like in the UK, there's probably thousands in the UK, while in Ireland is very small. So it's not really properly established yet, the object show community in Ireland, but it's way bigger than it was compared to back in 2012 or 2011 when the object show community just started. And I was probably the first person in Ireland to be in the object show community. So, yeah.
I mean, I'm probably like the only, like, I'm not going to say like, oh, I'm the only Scottish person from the OSC and stuff like that, because like, there could obviously like be other people, we never know that. But like, from my knowledge, I've not really seen anybody from Scotland to be from the USC. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it kind of makes you think, but honestly, kind of does, because it just makes me more unique, and more people want to hire the Scottish twat. That's me.
I suppose, yeah, it does make you more unique, just being one of the only Scottish people. I'm sure there's more, obviously. They're probably just hidden or, not as outspoken as you. So
we're more hidden creatures. We're like the Loch Ness Monster. That's what we are.
It's okay, you're all exclusive, so it's okay.
Exactly. We love our exclusive.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if you guys have any questions for Ultratoons, or is there anything else that you want me to call you as? Are you fine with Ultratoons? Yeah.
Ultratoons cool. So,
yeah. If you guys have any questions for Ultratoons, you can put them into the chat, and we'll get to them as soon as we can. I do have questions prepared for Ultratoons now, so we'll have like 15 minutes before we look at the live chat, so you guys have time to type them all.
All the questions will probably just be, where's the next episode of Object Mayhem?
I mean, like, do you want to just get that question out of the way so that way?
I mean, there's no really definite answer, to be honest. I mean, I'm working on it. I said April, but I think people, when they say where's the next episode of Object Mayhem, they mean part 2 of episode 3. For that, I guess that episode is going to come out in December, even though the writing is not finished. Like part 1 basically of Object Mayhem episode 3 was actually supposed to be one whole episode. It wasn't supposed to be a 2-parter. So the 2-parter, basically, the second part of the episode is only about 5 minutes long. However, since like obviously Object Mayhem got stopped in its tracks, and we're gonna excel the show to the final 6, there's more of the episode that needs to be written. So episode 3 has to be extended more. So it's gonna be extended more. So I'm gonna write more into that, and it's going to be probably 25-30 minutes long, probably more than that. But before I do that, I'm going to give the viewers a chance to vote which character they want to see in the finale of Object Mayhem. So there's a video about that coming out either today or tomorrow that will explain everything. And after that, I'll have all the votes in and everything. Then I will progress on writing the scripts probably during the summer, and I will work on that. And then, probably by the end of the year, we'll have episode 3 part 2 out. But before that, Object Mayhem Global is, I think it's going to come out in April. So yeah.
Well, that was like a long length answer that I was more expecting, to be honest. I was just more expecting like something that was just gonna be like, oh yeah, it's coming, guys. Just be patient and stuff like that. And I'll be like, and I'm just gonna be here nodding my head, just like, yeah.
I want to give the full story of it because it's very complicated, and I've explained it so many times. So that's Object Mayhem. It's not cancelled, but at the same time, it's gonna take a while to come out. But the Object Mayhem Global is going to come out more frequently. It's kind of the way like BFB and Teapot. Teapot takes a year to come out or whatever, and then BFB comes out more frequently. So that's the thing about Object Mayhem Global. Object Mayhem Global is going to come out more frequently, and then not BFB. And then Object Mayhem Part 2, it's going to come out, in a year or something, or whenever, So yeah.
Okay, before we do actually move on to the questions as well, I would do like to add that if you guys are new around here, that I do actually swear in these podcasts, so just keep that in mind. I will restrict myself more because there is more new people here, but that's just like a friendly warning, just to let you guys know that I do actually swear within these podcasts, so just be ready. Anyway, with that being said, your friendly neighborhood Satan has finally got all that out of the way, and let's get to the actual questions. Are you ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Alrighty, so Object Mayhem Season 1 came out back in September 1st of 2012. That's like bang on date, ain't it? But best question to start off with was how did you get into the OSC in the first place?
To be honest, the first time I approached the OSC was through Inanimate Insanity, because I remember seeing I think it was episode 5 of Inanimate Insanity, and I remember going into the comments, and then people were like, "Oh, this is a rip-off BFDI," and everything like that. Like there was someone just like back then when I saw Inanimate Insanity, there's a lot of hate comments back then because most people were just like, "You're ripping off BFDI" and stuff like that. So when I saw that, I was like, what's BFDI? So I looked up BFDI as well. And I binge watched the whole season of BFDI, and I loved it. So I was like, this is amazing. But at the time, I liked Inanimate Insanity more, just because, I don't know, it's just lower quality, and I just felt like I related to that more. So, that's how I really got into the OSC, just through discovering Nines Insanity first, but I watched BFDI like more consistently at the time. So yeah.
How much I can relate to that, because like I got into the OSC like when Inanimate Insanity was like on its hiatus for season 2.
Oh, really?
So it was like between episode 9 and 10. Um,
Mm.
I got into the show, like my friend introduced me to Inanimate Insanity first. I saw the show and stuff like that, and I was like, okay, where do I sign? Um,
Yeah, I think most people are like that, Now the Sound was really good. I loved season 1, and that's really, if it wasn't for Nines Insanity, I probably wouldn't have gone to the OSC. So like BFDI was great, but BFDI looked more higher quality. And it just looked like a show that was made on TV. While Nines Insanity looked like a crappy animation, which I could relate to more. I'm like, someone that's young is making a show that's like, not the best, but it's getting better, and it was every month as well. So the whole the whole way that's Object shows came out every month, like in Animal Society and BFDI, I could vote every month, so it was just so intriguing to me. So I was like, I have to get on board with this.
like that's like one of the cool parts about like some Object shows, because even though it doesn't happen a lot anymore, but it's like an episode comes out like every month for like BFB and stuff like that, and it's like you get to vote and it's like one of those things. It's like what's going to happen, who's going to be out next. I mean, not gonna lie, I kind of prefer T-pop over BFB, but that's my opinion, to be honest.
That's fair. Like yeah, I suppose that's cool. You can vote every month. It's so that means that the episodes are really based on current events of what happens like in the OSC. So whenever we vote, it's really cool. Like we are able to vote, and then our votes are then used for the next episode of a show. Like I think that's really cool that the fans can actually get involved in it. So it's technically kind of breaking the fourth wall, because in the show they basically know there's viewers, if you know what I mean. Like, believe it or not, like whether subconsciously or not, because they're always saying like, oh, viewers vote for whatever. So the characters are acting like they know the viewers exist, if you know what I mean, and they're telling us to like vote, and our votes, we see it the next episode, and it counts towards something. So I think that's pretty cool that we can vote in 1 month, and then in a month's time we can see all our votes or our recommended characters or anything in real time. That's pretty cool.
Alrighty. So next question, that should be the next one, is like, what was the idea behind Object Mayhem when you were making it back in 2012?
I don't know. To be honest, I started off, obviously when I saw BFDI and Animasanti. Object Mayhem wasn't even my first show I made. It was like the third Object show I made, I think, after 2 other failed Object shows. The first one, I cannot remember the name, was Object something anyway, and the host was a magnifying glass. And that was really bad, because it was basically just images from Google, like cartoon images from Google with the magic wand tool, and you can still see the white parts of it around the around the image. So it was really bad. And then my second Object show was called Objectify, and Samuel Thornberry and Braden Whiteside, they voiced acting that show as well. But that got cancelled after 1 episode.
That's a shame.
It was actually, I don't know if you remember, but this YouTuber called Mr. Cookie Omega. He's an old YouTuber that used to be in the OSC. I don't know where he is now, but me and him created Objectify, but that's not on anymore, obviously. So then my third Object show was Object Mayhem, so it was like the third attempt, and I was like, this time I'm gonna actually not cancel it. So I remember the voice actor of Balloon in Animal Society. I was friends with him back then, and he helped me get Object Mayhem started. So he helped me create the body of Notebook. He created the body of Gun. He created a body for a few characters. Can't remember which other characters, but he drew like 4 characters. And the mouths in Object Mayhem, like the first episode to like the third episode, he created them as well. He drew them as well. So he helped me like get Object Mayhem really started. And after that, then yeah, that's basically how I started Object Mayhem. And the rest of the characters were just basically characters I felt I could draw, if you know what I mean. Like I was like, what characters can I draw? Whatever characters I'm able to draw, those will be the characters that will be in Object Mayhem. So I was like, bouncy ball. Okay, it's just a circle. So, there we go. Calculator is just a square with some buttons on it. Ice cream was easy enough as well. And then donuts is just a circle as well. So, so that's how I started really. All the characters drawn in MS Paint. And yeah, imported them into Anime Studio. As time went on, the show progressed. Now we use Flash, but back then we used Paint and Anime Studio. So that's basically how I started the show. And my inspiration for starting the show is obviously BFDI, Insanity. So yeah.
Speaking of Tipper, well, not speaking of Tipper, speaking of like Calculator, because obviously like Calculator's on like the thumbnail and all that, which, by the way, shout out to Tipper's Wallaby, who did make the thumbnail. She is amazing.
Yeah.
But speaking of Calculator, since obviously he's the main host, obviously like a show is not the show is not as important as like as the host, who's going to be the main face of like the entirety of the show. So, so what was the idea that came around Calculator?
To be honest, Calculator was inspired by Me Phone 4 in Insanity. I was like, it's pretty cool to have a host that's kind of has a big ego and everything like that. So I was like, may as well have Calculator. To be honest, I don't know. Right now in college I do financial maths and economics. And I suppose I was really into maths all the time, if you get me. So I was like, why not have a calculator as the host of my show? Because that represents me a lot, if you get me. So I was like, have a calculator. And yeah, so that was basically the idea behind Calculator then.
I mean, have you ever like obviously have you just been like going to work and like stuff for that, and like when you when somebody when you obviously like pull out a calculator and stuff for that, you're always just like picturing like calculator being right in front of you and stuff for that.
Yeah, just, like, literally all the time. It's like, oh, this is calculator here and everything like that. But yeah, I mean, the calculator was obviously the inspiration. I mean, a Casio calculator actually was actually the inspiration for the whole character of Calculator. I was like, perhaps something that represents me. I have animation, like, I was really into animation and I'm really into math. So put them both together, we have an object show cartoon with a calculator as a host, which is voiced by me.
I mean, one of the stupid things that I used to do is like because like one of my like, because I told you before the stream started that I had another OC before this one. They were a lollipop, like a yellow lollipop. They're used for my object show now, so it's not like they're going in the waste and stuff. But basically, one of the things that I kind of used to do is like anytime somebody like gives me a yellow lollipop or something like that, I just start talking in their voice and stuff like that, and people just look at me just like, what are you on? And I'm just sitting there, and it's like I'm sitting there like the day later, just like I'm probably on cocaine or something between the two. I'm on crack.
They probably think that the lollipop is like a weed edible or something. Every time you lick a yellow lollipop, you just start talking in their voice like, what is in these lollipops? Like,
it's just like my this is my drugs, man. This is my drugs.
Okay.
No. Okay, so okay, so we might as well move on to this question, because this will be interesting to see how you answer this. And this is obviously like I actually already asked you this like you already kind of answered this like before before the live stream, but with only one of the characters. So like, what was the idea behind not only Gun being the villain, but with like Notebook being like super Notebook, and then like Toon having that split evil personality?
So I'll start with gun. So basically for gun, I think I told this before. I wanted to put a gun on a show because I think guns are cool, but at the same time, I believe in gun control and everything like that. I just think guns are cool, like the way they look, like the way guns look are cool. So I was like, I want to have a gun on the show, but if I want to have a gun on Object Mayhem, I don't want to glorify guns. I just like the design and how guns look like, but I don't want to glorify them. So I was thinking, if I want to have a gun on Object Mayhem, it has to be a villain because I'm not going to glorify guns or make them seem like, oh, guns are amazing, they're cool. So when Gun was on Object Mayhem, I was like, this is going to be the evil character. This is going to be the antagonist of the show. So I reached out to Justin Volcano Claw, at the time J Bud. So I reached out to him and I was like, do you want to voice on my show? He didn't actually know which character he was going to voice. He just said, yeah. So that was the time the OSC was really small and you could actually get people, that are like Animation Epic and Justin to voice in my show. And right now it'll be harder for people to get them to voice in their show unless the show is pretty much like more popular. But back then, obviously Jack and Jellyfy only had probably 2,000 subscribers, I think. And Animation Epic had maybe 900 subscribers. So I remember asking Justin if he wanted to voice my character, and I said to him, you can do whatever voice you want, just do any voice you want. And this is gonna be an evil character. So I'm not exactly sure what accent Gun has, but it worked out at the end. So the character Gun, as I said, didn't want to glorify guns or anything like that. So I made it an evil character, and the whole backstory of Gun was the BFDI Dobita, the voice actor of Tune. He came up with all of that, the whole backstory of the whole story with Gun. He came up with all that. Like he came up with what was going to happen, because in episode 9 of Object Mayhem, you see like Gun's plan and everything like that. And so BFDI Dobita came up with that whole timeline and the whole plan and everything of what was going to happen in Object Mayhem regarding Gun. And the same thing with Tune. So we were like, I had this idea one day when I was writing episode 12, I think it was. I was thinking, what can we do more with Tune? He can't just look pretty and just stand there and just be Tune, So we need to give him something. So I was looking at Tune, I was like, his headphones could actually be put to good use. So I was thinking, what if his headphones were the source of his energy or his power and he needed them to survive? Like, what if I did that? So I was like, we'll work with that. So I decided, I'd have an episode based on if Tune's headphones broke, how he was going to be like. So obviously, my original plan is that Tune can't survive more than a day without his headphones, or he's going to literally die. So, so then I came up with that, and I was like, it'll be funny as well if instead of it'd be too simple if Tune just got his headphones back and everything was all fine, that'd be too simple. So, I was like, let's bring in another antagonist into the show because Gun was gone at that point already. So, it'd be better to bring in another antagonist that's already internally in the show already, rather than bringing a random character that no one ever heard of, like the way some object shows do, like, Me Phone 4S, I think it was, came into Insanity, and he was like the whole antagonist. But at the same time, I didn't want to introduce a whole new character that was evil or anything like that. So I was thinking, why not use a character we already have and just like develop that character more? Because at that time, Tune wasn't really doing anything. It was kind of, in my eyes, kind of bland because he was just all he had going for him was his cool voice, but personality-wise, not much. So I was thinking, use his headphones as a source of his power, and then let's say he gets different headphones, and those headphones make him evil, and like the character headphones is now able to control him. So we took that route. Then I was like, that's a good route to take. And here's a spoiler for Object Mayhem Global, the first episode. The first episode is based on Tune's headphones, and how Tune is going to deal with that and everything. So the whole reason for Tune's headphones and everything is revealed in Object Mayhem Global episode 1. And it kind of wraps up everything, so everyone will see what happens there. So expect an Object Mayhem Global. It's basically based on Tune, his headphones, and how how he's gonna deal with the struggle of having his headphones and everything, and his evil side as well. So that all comes into Object Mayhem Global, episode 1. And the last character, Super Notebook. I think I can't really remember what inspired Super Notebook, but one of the things that inspired Super Notebook was I watched this movie with Will Smith. I think it was called Hancock or something. And then I don't know, like I mean that wasn't like the inspiration, but I remember seeing Hancock and watching that movie. After I watched that movie, I kind of said, I want to have a superhero because I don't know why, but that movie inspired me to want to have a superhero in Object Mayhem. I don't know why. Like Hancock wasn't the inspiration for Notebook, but he was just something that sparked my interest to want to have a superhero in Object Mayhem. So and Notebook wasn't really doing much either. And this is character development, you take a character and add more to them, kind of give them something to work around. Because before that, Notebook was funny and stuff, but there wasn't much to him. Like I think people would rather Notebook the way he is now compared to the way he was probably at the start of season 1. Like he wasn't very that memorable in the start of season 1. But when it came into the Super Notebook days, a lot of people said Notebook was their favorite character now. But that wouldn't be the case back in the day. In the first few episodes, no one would say Notebook is my favorite character. But now, he's developed more as a character. And I think, a lot of people would now like Notebook and the way he is now and the way he's going to progress on in the future. So yeah, that's how I, formulated all those 3 characters really.
Alrighty. Well, honestly, that's actually a lot of interesting things, and one of the things you said about Notebook, with them being originated from the show,
movie.
Movie. I didn't actually know that, so I'll actually probably check the movie out, to be honest, because sounds interesting.
It's a very vulgar movie. It's like a parody superhero movie, but I actually left a reference. I left a reference of it in episode. I think the episode where Notebook saves ice cream from when the rocket falls on top of ice cream, and then Notebook comes over and throws a ribbon at her. The sound effect when Notebook flies away is actually from the movie.
Oh, right, okay. Right, so this will be our last question just for now, and then we'll move on to the live chat questions. So obviously, right. So just because we're not going to beat around the bush and stuff like that. Season 1 did get cancelled. It's a shame that season 1 got cancelled, but obviously you got your reasonings behind season 1 being cancelled. But with it being in the final 16 and stuff like that, and then as well as obviously there was only 6 contestants left. Did you already have in mind who you would have wanted to have in the finale?
To be honest, not really, because when it came to episode 15 and 16, I wasn't really writing. I didn't have much to do with Object Mayhem anymore. I was just kind of voice acting for Object Mayhem and doing some animation, but I didn't write anything about episode 15 and 16. I probably edited a few stuff here and there, but the whole writing of the episode, I didn't really do anything of it. I wasn't involved in the whole writing. The last episode I wrote was probably episode 14 in season 1. And then 15 and 16, I didn't have any knowledge of what was happening. I just was given a script, and everyone's my writers give me a script, and they were like, "This is the script for Object Mayhem." And I was like, "Okay, cool. I'll record my lines, and we'll make the audio." And then people end up not liking episode 15 and 16, rightly so. But it's because the show took a different turn. It wasn't Object Mayhem, Candy Factory and everything, just very out of character for Object Mayhem, So from doing silly challenges like treadmill challenges and laser contests and epic death battles, talent shows, going to Billy Bonker's factory, which is just a very big different step Object Mayhem took, and I feel people didn't really like that because it tried to make the show too serious. But no, I didn't really have a character in mind I was thinking of winning. If it was up to me, season 1, I probably would have made Ice Cream win though. It was up to me. So yeah, that's the only character I would have had in mind to win. The rest of the characters were all right, but I didn't feel they were, winner worthy because Tion was a debuter. So, debuters, it wouldn't be fair if they really won. And then,
Mirror obviously rejoined, and so did
yeah,
Mailbox also. So like the
yeah,
only
Mara.
original three was like Dice, Ice Cream, and Cupcake.
Yeah, and I felt Dice and Ice Cream were too nice, really. Like they're really nice characters, but I feel it was too easy of a win if they just won because Dice barely got any votes ever, like for to be eliminated. Like the most votes she probably ever got is probably like, I don't know, 25 or something. That's the most votes she ever got to be eliminated. Cupcake got a lot of votes for episode 16 to be eliminated though. But yeah, ultimately, I think Ice Cream would probably have been the winner of season 1 if it didn't finish though.
Fair enough. Well, what if I do have this question, and I will ask this quickly, just because I do want to actually move on to the viewer questions.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever revealed this yet, but obviously, if episode 17 were to have come out, who would have been eliminated from episode 16?
Would have been Mailbox. I think I wrote that in my community tab before. Yeah, Mailbox would have been eliminated.
Yeah. I kind of had a funny feeling because, like, even when I was watching it back then, I remember voting for Mailbox because I was like,
Hey, everyone hated Mailbox back then. But now people are starting to miss him because he's gone from the show, and people are probably not going to see him for a long time, if even ever again. So,
I mean, you never know. You might actually see some of these guys in Object Mayhem Global. It's just one of those things where you have to check out. That's
yeah,
not a self plug or anything. Totally not. Don't question that. Anyway.
Yeah, like Notebook. I mean, not Notebook. Sorry, yeah, Mailbox is just he got eliminated. Everyone saw that coming. He just about escaped elimination in episode 14, I think it was, or 13. So like there's one vote between him and Toast. If you watch the episode, if you watch the video I made before called Object Mayhem Secrets, we originally thought that Mailbox was gonna be eliminated. So we had Toast in that tropical paradise scene. So we had to teach at the end last minute, be like, okay, we had to like take out Toast, and Toast was eliminated. But thankfully, the episode wasn't based on the contestants; it was based on the eliminated contestants voting them out. So we could afford to take Toast out and not have to like rewrite a lot of the episode. So it's fine.
That's actually funny to hear that you actually based this on like. You actually based the episode more on like Toast still being in the game than Mailbox. Like that's funny to hear, to be honest. It's like it's like you have it in your head. It's like you know your viewers, and then when you find out who they actually voted for, you're like, shit, I need to rewrite this, redo this. No,
because we always wrote episodes of Object Mayhem in advance. Because let's say when episode 3 came out for season 1, we'd have episode 4 and 5 already written because we just guessed, like based on the trends and who people liked or didn't like. We kind of just like assumed who was going to be eliminated, and most of the time we were right. Only that one time we were wrong because we didn't know more people hated Toast than Mailbox at the time. So just one person more hated Toast than Mailbox, so that's what cost her. So, yeah.
Alrighty, let's move on to the viewer questions. Let's see what's in the chat. Hello, Magnetic Minum, how you doing? Hey, music, thanks for the support there. Hello, Sharpie. Okay, fan of animations asked why were some characters not in Object Mayhem season 2? So I'm guessing they're talking about like Gun and Cupcake and all that, which I did actually have written down here as well because I was planning to ask that.
The characters I wanted in season 2, basically some characters I didn't have voice actors for, So Dice was in the season 2 because Dice was voiced by my sister, and I was gone to college already, and my sister wasn't going to college. She was younger than me, but she's in college now. So if Dice wanted to come back now, it'd be easier because me and her both go to the same college, so it's fine now. But back then, like I was in college and I was like in third year of college, and she was still in secondary school, or high school, whatever they call it in America. And so I live like 3 hours away from my hometown, like when I'm in college. So, to get her to voice Dice would be such an inconvenience because I'd have to come back, go 3 hours back home. And, it'd just be such an inconvenience to like have her consistently on the show. So I took out Dice from that equation. And then Cupcake, I remember talking to Sam, and he said he could voice Lego, but he wasn't really able to do his Cupcake voice anymore. So I was like, that's fine. Couldn't have Cupcake in either. Mailbox, I wasn't really planning on putting him in anyway, because since he got eliminated with like the most votes ever, so like I don't think he really.
It kind of tells you that nobody really wanted him in the game anymore, and like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even like him even when he came into the game. So it was like one of those things where it was like one of those things where when you announced season 2 and he wasn't there, I was like, oh, that's sad. Anyway.
Yeah. And Tune, I had to put Tune out. Like, what's Object Mayhem without Tune now? So I had to put Tune in season 2. And then I was thinking, I should give some characters that were in Object Mayhem already a chance, because some of the characters I put into season 2, they weren't characters that no one ever heard of. Because Cactus was in episode 4, so was Biscuits as well. They were both episode 4 of Object Mayhem, so I was like, I'll put them in. Flower Pots was in episode 7 of Object Mayhem, so I put her in as well. And
yeah, that's funny, like how some of your debuters that you had from season 1 actually got in to be in season 2. Like, that's really good to be reusing some of these characters.
Yeah, and so like, it'd be more fairer to do it that way, because I didn't want to have Object Mayhem without the Object Mayhem and have characters that were never heard of by anyone just being Object Mayhem.
I mean, you never really answered about the other debuter that didn't get in.
Oh, Xylophone.
I love how you're just. I don't know if you're actually doing this as a joke or the fact that you're just pretending, but like I was meaning Toast.
Oh, Toast. All right. Oh, sorry. No, sorry. Toast. Yeah.
Toast. I love. I just love that. It's just like, oh yeah, Toast exists.
No, I thought you were thinking like I thought you were saying a character I scrapped that didn't get in, which was Xylophone. Those scraps. But yeah, Toast didn't get in. I don't really know why Toast didn't get in, because Toast was eliminated anyway. So, and she kind of had her, time in the show. Like, whereas Lego only lasted till episode 7, and I felt that character had more potential. So I put Lego in season 2. And Toast, everyone knows Toast's personality, how Toast is like, she doesn't really need to be in season 2 because everyone knows how she's like, and she'd just be annoying, really. So I didn't put in Toast in the season 2. And
I mean, some characters were obvious to why they weren't coming back, because obviously Gun didn't come back because, well, he's a fucking gun. But like, but like, there was obviously some characters like Donut who would more likely be more of a hassle having back.
Yeah.
And like, there was not really a use for them to be back in the game anyway. It's obvious that when you were considering the season 2 characters, you were more looking at if the characters do have their voice actors, because obviously, what I do admire about you is that you don't really want to replace any of these voice actors. You'd rather have them like be out of the show than replace them, because that's honestly dedication. I'd honestly admire that about you. That's
cheers. Like, I didn't want to replace Sam's voice as Cupcake. I just felt it'd be so weird, because we've had Cupcake in the show from episode 1 through episode 16, and her to just have a different voice, I just wouldn't like that, really, unless someone had a very close. Like, Sam is such a good voice actor. Like, he's a really good voice actor, and that's the thing about being a really good voice actor. It's so hard to replace you. That's the thing. So I mean, it's the same thing. If I was trying to replace Lego, it'd be almost impossible to replace Lego, because who can do Lego like the way Sam can do Lego? I literally have to get someone that sounded exactly like Sam. So I'd probably have to clone him or something in order to get the voice for Lego. So fortunately he could do Lego. I wasn't even my decision to have Lego eliminated in episode 2. But yeah, unfortunately, Lego was eliminated. So it kind of made Lego join the show in season 2 pointless if you're just gonna be eliminated in the first episode. So yeah, I mean the second episode.
Like, and like I said, I just do admire you about that. So that's obviously reason number 1 for characters, and obviously reason number 2 is that obviously if they need a redemption or if they need to be like brought back for a second chance, then obviously you would do that, because obviously Jigsaw was brought back for a second chance. So like Mirror only got in to debut, so they got in for a second chance and stuff like that. Like you said about Lego only got out like only was in like a few episodes, so it made sense for them to come back.
Yeah, so, it made no sense for him to get eliminated in episode 2 then.
Yeah, and then obviously you brought back the fan favorites kind of characters like Chun and Notebook, who were pretty much the poster childs of Object Mayhem, to be honest.
Literally. And yeah, so the tune, I just couldn't do the show without tune. I just had to have tune in it, so
So we have it right here. It's confirmed Ultratoons likes Chun better than everybody else.
Not better than everyone else. I know better than everyone else. He's one of my favorite characters, but not better than everyone else. I think my favorite character would probably be Calculator. So
looking at your profile picture. Right, so back to questions here. Let's see. We already answered this question, but here we go. Is there anything else besides BFDI or II that inspired you to make Object Mayhem in general? This was from AD.
To be honest, I mean, this is very far-fetched, but South Park inspired me to make
Whoa!
Yeah.
Good night, folks.
It's very far-fetched because South Park and because before I started the whole animation stuff, I was always obsessed with South Park. I was so obsessed. I watched every episode, everything. I loved it. I love the animation style, everything. So I used to watch South Park when I was younger, and then as I grew older, then South Park is what really inspired me to want to actually animate or anything like that. So I that inspired me, and the fact that South Park was always based on current events, because South Park's episode came out, it's like there'd be something happening in the world like this week, and the South Park will have an episode about it next week, and I felt that continue like the way that continued was the same way you have BFDI and Animals Insanity. They have the continuation of what the next episode is about. What the next episode is about is based on what happened in the previous episode, as in the viewers vote. The viewers are voting, and then our opinions are then used to factor into the next episode. And that's the same thing with South Park. What happens this week is used to factor into what episode they're going to make next week. So I kind of like that whole structure, and I felt BFDI and Animals Insanity had a similar structure. So yeah, so South Park was one of my inspirations as well to actually make an object show.
Okay. AD does have another question here. Is that when season 2 was created, where's the contestants that are not in the game still? That are still in, like, are they still on the moon?
Well, actually, Object Mayhem Global is gonna explain that. So.
Oh, okay. Well,
to answer that, I'll be spoiling everything.
Spoilers. No, like.
Well, we know where Gunn is anyway. He's in his caravan. So.
I mean, we still don't know if he's still evil or not, so we're gonna have to stay tuned for Object Mayhem. I'm gonna say season 2 most likely is gonna get that answered in Global, because I don't think you'd answer that early.
Yeah, definitely not. Like, it's gonna be Gunn has a big role in the next episode of part 2. So yeah, I thought to wrap up the show, we have to bring back the OG, Gunn. He has to have a part, during Mayhem if I'm gonna wrap up the show. So, and it's the best thing to do, is bring back Gunn and show him to everyone before the show wraps up.
I mean, especially when you had him especially when you made a Gunn story.
Oh yeah.
Like during when it was like a big when it was like kind of a break between Object Mayhem episode 2 and 3. So like when that came out, obviously in my head I was like, okay, so this next episode is going to have something to do with gun. Interesting.
Yeah, exactly. The whole gun story was written by BFDI Davida. As I said, he structured the whole gun story and everything throughout the show. So he wrote that, and then he actually animated that. That's the only scene he ever animated for Object Mayhem, but yeah, he animated that as well. So that's pretty cool.
Alrighty. If there isn't any other questions currently from anybody else, I guess we can continue with some of the questions, and then we'll go on a break in 10 minutes, if that's alright with you.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because obviously, like we did only like woke up like 20 minutes ago or like an hour ago for you, but so it makes sense that obviously we can go and get ourselves like something to drink and stuff. So right, so I think because there is still like some people, because obviously like I don't expect a lot of people to go and read like community tabs and stuff like that, even though you do reveal most of your news through that if there's needed. But like obviously when season 1 ended, season 2 ended up coming out. But because of like but because of the fact that obviously season 3 is just around the corner now. Season Oh, what's this? Oh, sorry, never mind. For one of the things that happened. Sorry, I'm spacing out here. What I'm trying to say is, what was actually going like obviously for most people who don't know like what was going on between like season 2. Obviously, like you were already telling me the other day of what was happening with that, but for people who don't know. Why is season 2 ending a lot more earlier than the original season 1 did?
Oh yeah, okay. So I put up something on Twitter about it going more into depth with it before, but I deleted that post because I felt it was a bit personal. But in a nutshell, basically, my life, I felt I was getting older, and to be honest, I didn't really want to do Object Mayhem till I was 30 or anything like that. And I felt that so much more to like do with life, and I felt having Object Show was amazing and everything, but it was such a burden as well to just like have to it's there, and like the show isn't over until all the contestants are eliminated and one person wins. That's the whole thing about Object Mayhem and Object shows. And so like your show isn't over until everyone there's a winner. So that's the whole thing about Object shows. And if there's no winner, then technically if you just stop your show, it's canceled then. So I was thinking, I don't really want to do that because at the same time there was 14 more contestants to be eliminated or to go. And to be honest, it wasn't really. I wanted to pursue other stuff, and I feel Object Mayhem just doing that was just such a big burden to me. I do love the Object Show community, but I just didn't really want to be that involved. As in, have it be like half of my life because I'm Kelly Kingsley. I'm here, I'm Ultratoons at the same time. But I felt Ultratoons is taking up half my life, whereas I really wanted it to take up maybe 25% of my life, not half my life, or probably more than that. So so I was just thinking, I'll make Object Mayhem global instead, and there's no competition in it. So basically, if Object Mayhem global was to end after episode 5, you wouldn't consider it cancelled because there doesn't need to be any characters eliminated or anything like that. So you're not stopping it in the middle. So that's a good thing about Object Mayhem Global. There's no voting in it. There's no like the way a character gets eliminated, all that stuff. So I took that all out of the equation and made Object Mayhem Global because, as I said, I didn't really want to do Object Mayhem until I was like 30 or 40 because that's the way it was looking. Because I was releasing maybe 2 episodes on average a year. If I was doing that, it's going to go on for another probably, 8 to 9 to 10 years maybe before I'd even get a winner. And realistically, I'm 22 now, and I couldn't see myself doing Object Mayhem into my 30s or like finishing Object Mayhem when I'm 32. I just don't feel I'd be motivated enough to do that. I do want to disappoint people and have the show the show go up to like episode 10 and then cancel it again. It'd make no sense. So I was thinking, it's just better to just end the show now while it just started, and then probably progress to a finale. And in the finale, we're gonna have characters from season 1 and season 2 competing to win the prize. So I was like, that's better. That's a better send off for Object Mayhem. Whereas rather than just going through half the show and then just canceling it halfway through, that made no sense to me. So yeah, that was basically my reasoning for canceling up season 2. Really, I mean, I didn't want to cancel. Like, it's the last thing I want to do, but it's, to be honest, I had my hands tied, and there was no other alternative for me to do. That's all I could think of, really. If I wanted to keep my social life and my personal life and everything in balance, then, to be honest, to have Object Mayhem like still running was just not gonna allow that to happen. It'd always be lopsided. It'd always be me stressing over Object Mayhem or whatever, and that just puts unnecessary stress on me and pressure. I just didn't really need that. Object Mayhem Global is good because the animation's simpler, and I can write whatever, I can do whatever I want in the show. I can write whatever I want, so I can I can have fun with it. I don't have to worry about deadlines or anything, because the show it's not a competition based show, so I can just write anything in it and put it out there. Actually have fun with it. And this Object Mayhem Global is the first time I've had fun with Object Mayhem in a long time. I probably haven't had fun with Object Mayhem since the first episode of season 2. So yeah, that's pretty much that.
Alrighty. This will be our last question for now until our break, and then after our break, we're going to play a little game.
All right, cool.
I sound like Jigsaw saying that. We're going to play a little game. No. Okay, no. But so our last question here now until later on, then we'll go back to the questions. Is that is there a favorite episode of Object Mayhem that you watch back and then just say, like, I'm glad I've made this?
There's a lot of them, to be honest. For season 1, I would say probably episode 14. Yeah, I'd say probably episode 14, season 1. Just because, I don't know, just the way it looks and anything. I just thought that's just like classical Object Mayhem. If I was going to tell anyone, if you want to get nostalgia from Object Mayhem, just watch episode 14 or 13 or 14, but mostly 14. Just watch the episode, and then you'll get real Object Mayhem nostalgia. And as I said before, there's a big difference between season 2 and season 1. And if you watch episode 14, you'll notice that difference in Object Mayhem. The humor is different in episode 14 and everything compared to season 2. So I just feel episode 14 was an episode I was like really proud of. I made another episode I was proud of is episode 1 of season 2, because I feel that was just like the starter, and I was like, Object Mayhem is back, and I was happy I made it, even though Object Mayhem ended up getting cancelled. If I didn't take that step to make that first episode, then Object Mayhem probably would never came back then. So yeah.
Alrighty. Well, so we're going to go on to a 5-minute break. We'll be back at 2 o'clock. I'm just going to show this small video real quickly before we go on our break, because this is just one of my favorite videos made by yourself, because it's just so stupid but so fun at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's flashing like that, but I'm sorry, but I needed to show this. This is like one of the things I had in mind for like the last 10 minutes. No, but
you just think I have to show that. Have to show that.
It's like, I need to show this. I need it. No,
Okay.
alrighty, so we're gonna go on our break. After our break, we're going to play a game of Guess Who, which is basically Object Mayhem version of Guess Who.
All right, that's cool.
We love ourselves a bit of a Guess Who. Do you have anything to say before we go on our break?
Watch Object Mayhem. That's all.
Totally. Alrighty. We'll see you guys. We'll see you guys in 5 minutes. So yeah. See you guys soon. I'm just gonna quickly get the music sorted out again. There we go. Got it. Right. We'll see you guys shortly.
What did I think that you singing? What did I
I'm gonna wait for Tim to message me back and say if he's back or not. Sorry if the stream's a bit laggy, guys. Currently on 2 bars for some reason. There we go. There we are.
Yo.
Welcome back.
It's good.
I just went and just stretched my legs a little bit because I haven't gotten out of my bed until, well, now.
That's so fair.
Hello, hi. There's some people who are just saying bye, and I'm like, okay, okay, I see how it is. I see the betrayal. No,
Probably the stream was over.
I mean, I did say like we were just gonna go on our break, so.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyway, so you ready for our game?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Right, so this is Object Mayhem version of Guess Who. So basically what's going to happen is that we get to choose whoever we want from Object Mayhem.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And wait, what was that, an echo? Like I just heard my voice echo.
Really?
Was that your end or?
Yeah, I just watched the video.
Right, okay, because I was like wondering, just like, why am I hearing my voice echo? I don't like my voice echo.
So you said we were gonna pick a character.
Yeah, so we'll be picking a character. You want it to be from season 2 mainly, or do you want to do it from just all around, so that includes season 1 as well?
I can do all around everything.
Alrighty. So we're going to play this. So what's going to happen is we get to choose whatever character from Object Mayhem we want, and we describe them either by gender, personality, or what they've done in Object Mayhem. We're not allowed to say who they are. We're not allowed to say if they got eliminated and where they got eliminated. Biggest one I will say is we're not allowed to say if they're a debuter because that limits it down to 4 people.
Okay, yeah.
But usually you have a minute to. Hold on, I need to grab the timer again. Usually you have. You usually have like a minute to basically guess the character. If you don't guess it within a minute, then the person who's describing the character gets a point.
Okay.
If the person who guesses the character correctly, then they get a point. First person to get 3 points will win. What will they win? Bragging rights, of course.
And how many guesses do you get?
Oh no, you can keep guessing until timer runs out.
Let's go through every character.
I mean, here's the thing, like, I can go obscure. Like, I could go for a character that's only appeared like once or twice. Like, I could pick a character that was like a debuter but was failed.
Okay, yeah, I get you.
It would be harder to describe them since they don't really have a fleshed out personality, but I could go there.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, if we're gonna do personality, we only have 3 characters then, so you can go with anything. Alright.
Alrighty. I'm going to share my screen again, this time with the timer on screen. Hopefully that should be showing up now. Yes, it's a weird timer. Since you are the lovely guest, would you like to be the guesser or would you like to be the describer?
I think I'll be the guesser.
Alrighty, so that'll be me who'll be going first to start describing. I do have a character in mind. So right, you ready for you ready to start guessing?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Right, start guessing in 3, 2, 1, go. Right, so this character wasn't very popular within their season. They weren't popular not by the viewers, but by the contestants within the show, as they didn't. You got it.
There's only one character I can think of. That's Jigsaw.
Crap! I should have just left it as like they weren't like, so that way you could have just said like Mailbox or something like that. So.
Oh, yeah, well. Shouldn't have said within the show. Then I just knew it was Jigsaw. Then.
Fair enough. Well, so that's you got a point there. So it'll be your turn to start describing. Tell me if you've got a character, and I'll start. And tell me to start the timer when you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
Right. So 3, 2, 1, go.
This character speaks a different language, a made-up language, and this character is, I'd say, a square. So yeah, that's your.
Toast.
Not exact square, but like the dimensions is a square. Like you have squares and rectangles. No.
No?
No. They speak a different language.
A different language?
Oh my god!
God! You went for someone to scare straight away, didn't you? Oh my god! I'm trying to remember. Can you give me any more information, please?
Okay, I'll give you this. We're in episode 7.
Episodes. Oh my god! I hate you. Was there a dollar character? Was there no?
A dollar character?
No. Fuck.
No, it was Joshua from episode 7. You know the table. That? Joshua, do you know the table, the animation epic voice?
Oh my god!
Yeah, they speak a different language. I don't know whatever language Adam made up. That's the language they speak. So yeah.
Oh my god! Hold on. I honestly did not remember them.
Yeah, that's why I picked that character. I was like, you're not gonna guess this one.
You mother trucker! I just got played like a motherfucking fiddle. Like legit. Hold on. Let me just. Oh my god! You were right. You son of a bitch.
Yeah, Joshua's one of my favorite characters.
Right, I do have a character next, and I feel like I'm about to become really mean with this one. So,
All right, go for it.
Oh my god! Right. Also, hi Tippers, welcome into the chat where I'm failing. But yeah, right, starting in 3, 2, 1, go. This character doesn't actually speak English, but in sounds.
They don't speak English?
They don't speak English. Well, they sort of speak English, but they have like kind of subtitles under them.
Okay. And who else?
But they speak in sounds. In other words, trying to say.
In sounds. It's not tune.
No, it's not tune.
Sounds.
Biggest hen. They aren't a contestant, and they weren't even a debuter either. You've got 10 seconds.
Oh no!
They were only used for one reason, for a challenge.
I don't know. Who is it?
It was the radio box, jukebox.
I was thinking that. I was gonna say that. I was thinking that. I was like, "It's no way it's him," because technically he did speak English. We didn't speak English, but yeah.
He didn't speak English. Well, but like he did like speak in sort of sounds kind of way.
Yeah, that's like subtitles. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Damn. Okay.
We're going hardcore here because the fact that he decided to take it hardcore first, and I was like, all right, let's go off, Queen. Right. All right. So it's currently 2-1. If I believe I'm supposed to be guessing next. If I don't get this next character correctly, then you win. If I do get this character, then it's going to be a tiebreaker.
Okay.
And we love ourselves a good tiebreaker. Righty. So tell me when you've got a character, and I'll be ready.
Okay, hold on. Let me think.
You're gonna go for the most obscure character. Like they only appeared for like one. They like only appeared in one frame.
I was like Profile or something. Do you not remember Profile in episode 7?
I know, right? They were there. They were always a contestant.
Exactly. He was there the whole time.
Oh my god.
Let me think. Okay, I have one. Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna go for hell, aren't I?
Okay, go.
Right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so this character has no arms, has no legs. They don't say anything. No, they have no arms, no legs. They don't say anything, but they can make facial expressions, and their body lights up as well. Inside their body lights up.
What the fuck?
Inside their body lights up, and they only make facial expressions, but it's like drawn on facial expressions. It's not with assets. And yeah, inside their body lights up. And yeah, and they're black, grayish, black.
Are they like a checkerboard? Are they like a checkerboard something, or like a light?
A light inside their body. They're not a light. Well, yeah, they're lights, I suppose. Yeah.
A flashlight, maybe. I don't know if you had a flashlight character. Like, I hate that you're going obscure here. Oh shit. Fuck. Black and white. Black and white. Black and white.
No, not black and white. Just black.
What do you mean it's just black and fuck? You said black and white.
I said black and gray.
Who was that?
Okay, you can add on another few seconds since you misunderstood.
No. But like,
so you know,
black and gray. What the? What the fuck? Black and gray.
No limbs. No limbs. Only facial expressions.
Black and gray. Only facial expressions. Can I ask if they were in season 1? Because it's most likely I feel like they came from season 1.
Yeah, they're in season 1.
Black and white. Only facial expressions.
Black and gray.
I'm going to take the L. I've already lost, but I still want to try and guess this.
Okay, it was Lantern in episode 7.
You motherfucker!
I didn't know we were going to guess that one. I was like Lantern, because they only have facial expressions. They glow up. They're black and grayish. Like it's kind of see-through, but black and grayish, basically.
You actually went the most obscurest you could have went. My god, alright. Okay, I'm taking the L. Okay, so obviously the creator wins. The creator of the show obviously wins.
Yeah, of course. Oh god. Yeah.
No, but that was actually funny, because like I did not think we were going to go that obscure, because like mostly when we do games like that, people just go for like the contestants, but like
wow. Contestants. All my contestants are very like objects that you'd guess easy. If I was gonna say donuts, like someone was sprinkle or someone was round. If I said someone was round, you literally guess donuts or bouncy ball. So I have to go with someone that you probably wouldn't remember. So
yeah. But yeah, by the way, the last character I had for you to guess if we were going to do the tiebreaker was Lolly from episode 16.
Oh right, yeah, Billy
episode
Bonkers.
15 and 16. So
Billy Bonkers.
Yeah, Billy Bonkers. We love that.
My name is Billy Bonkers. I hated that character, to be honest.
Love that.
That's probably the only character I hate in Object Mayhem. There's no character I hate. I just hate that character.
It's like you don't hate anybody, but you hate him.
Yeah, hate them. But like every other character, well, I hate them because they weren't even supposed to be a show. They just came out of nowhere. No one heard of them before, and just so unfitting and everything. Just so weird. So,
oh, right. So, alrighty, we're gonna go back into our questions, guys. If you've got any questions in the live chat, please start putting them there. For the last 10-15 minutes, we'll get into the live chat again, and then we'll be finishing up at and around like probably 3 o'clock-ish, hopefully.
yeah, that's cool.
It might be a bit earlier than that, but who knows, right? I hate how you went for Latin. What the fuck, man? Oh, that actually pisses me off. Okay, right. Just gonna process that just for 1 second. Okay, process it. I hate you. Anyway.
It's okay. Just take the L and move on.
Wow. All right. Okay. So I do actually want to get this question asked to now. Why not? Quicksand has asked. All right. The Queen would like to ask Ultra, who was the first character created for Object Mayhem?
Who was the first character? Bouncy ball.
Totally
It was bouncy ball because he's just a circle.
He said that so
and she went on MS Paint and just selected blue circle. Just did a circle. Like, there we go, bouncy ball. So yeah.
I feel like if bouncy ball was to come back, I think they would need to have like some other like pattern on them, so that way it isn't just,
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, in episode 1 of season 2, they had a new design, bouncy ball. Well, we'll see bouncy ball again in episode 2 of Object Mayhem Global. But yeah.
Alrighty, so we'll get into our questions now. So last section we were talking about season 1 specifically. This time we're going to talk about season 2 global and the OSC in general. So you ready?
Okay, go for it.
Right, so Object Mayhem season 2. So we talked about already about some of the characters who got in. Like obviously you chose some of the characters that returned, but what about the characters that were all new?
Oh, sorry, say that again.
What I'm trying to say is, like, what was your mindset when you were deciding the new characters for Object Mayhem?
Well, as I said before, I wanted to have characters that were already in Object Mayhem and not. I didn't want to stray away too much from Object Mayhem. I wanted to have characters that were still there, like they already appeared on the show before. The only character that was kind of new, I suppose, in season 2 was football, because well, it was really new, but like football. The whole thing with football was he was a character that was supposed to be one of my old other shows called the show before Objectify was I can't remember what the name of it was, but he was in that show, and that's what football was in. So it's a very long time ago. So I was thinking, I may as well have football in Object Mayhem. Shamrock, he was a character no one ever saw before, but I'm Irish, so I was thinking I may as well have an Irish character.
Because we're going to add a leprechaun.
Yeah, you have to have an Irish character there. So I put in Shamrock, and Perfume is basically appeared in Object Mayhem before. Not the same design, but the best smelling thing in the world, So
yeah,
that's basically Perfume in talking form. Pizza obviously appeared in Object Mayhem in episode 4, so I was like,
and so did Biscuit also appear.
Yeah, then Dr. Lemon was in what was he in? He was in Inanimate Fight Out. So I asked Mega Amazing if he would want me to put Dr. Lemon in season 2. So he's like, yeah, you can have Dr. Lemon. So I was like, yeah, Dr. Lemon season 2. So there we go.
Dr. Lemon.
I'm an egg. I'm a lemon.
And then lastly, obviously, Pizza and Cactus.
Oh yeah, Cactus. Cactus was obviously in episode 4. He had no arms then, but he seems to have grown arms for season 2. They told him he was in season 2. He was like, "All right, it's my time to shine."
It's like, all right, time to grow myself some arms. 2 years later, I have arms, people.
Yeah, and Pizza was. I wasn't 100% sure I was gonna put Pizza in season 2 because I didn't know if I could voice Pizza because my sister originally voiced Pizza in episode 4, and in episode 10 I voiced Pizza. But for season 2, I was thinking I need a new voice actor for Pizza. But at the same time, as I said to you before, I don't really like changing voice actors, so I just kind of had to force myself to voice Pizza because I really wanted Pizza to be in season 2. So yeah, and Pizza's voice is basically I do Pizza's voice, but I pitch it up by about 1.5, 2 semitones. I can't remember the exact pitch, but I have a pitch sheet which shows all the pitches when I'm doing the audio pre-processing and everything. But yeah, Pizza's voice is pitched up by about 2 semitones to make it higher because obviously my voice isn't as high as it was back when I first started voicing Pizza in 2014 or whatever it was. So yeah, that was basically all the characters in season 2. There was another character supposed to be in season 2, which was Xylophone as well, but I replaced her with Flower Pot in the last minute because one of the reasons because I didn't really know how to draw a xylophone. So I was thinking I'll just save myself the hassle and just put in the Flower Pot instead. And other than that, Xylophone was a complete new character that I kind of just pulled out of nowhere. So as I said, I want to keep the characters the same. And Xylophone was going to be like a tune type character, if you know what I mean, because Xylophone was supposed to talk in like musical notes, like the way Tune does. So I was thinking we don't need another vocal-coded character in Object Mayhem. So yeah, Xylophone was scrapped then.
Alrighty. I mean, are you planning on adding Xylophone into Object Global?
I don't really know. Like Xylophone appeared in the last episode of Object Mayhem, episode 3 of season 2, voiced by Animation Object Show. So I'm not really sure if Xylophone will be in Object Mayhem Global, but possibilities are endless. I haven't written Xylophone into Object Mayhem Global yet, but we never know what can happen. Like I already have like the first episode of Object Mayhem Global written, the second episode half written. I already have the concept of the third episode, but so far, Xylophone hasn't appeared in any of them. But you never know what could happen going forward, so we'll see.
I mean, you never know if you need it. If you need any voice actors, just send me a call. I'm here. No, I'm kidding. But that's interesting to hear with there being scrapped characters from season 2. Like, was there anybody else that was scrapped, or was it just Xylophone?
Who else was scrapped? There was other scrapped characters, but the fact that they're scrapped is why I don't remember them. So I remember having a few characters. I remember Ribbon was supposed to be in season 2. She didn't make it past. I don't really know what personality to give Ribbon. And then the more I wrote the episode of episode 1, the more Ribbon just kind of seemed like Cupcake. So I was like, nah. And then who else? Because originally I was going to put 20 contestants, and Radio actually was supposed to be in season 2, but Radio was supposed to talk. But then I realized Radio. So actually, the radio in I think there was a radio in season 1 of BFDI. I'm pretty sure, and I think the radio appears. No, that's Boombox. I'm thinking of. But there's a radio in season 1 of BFDI recommended by the same person that recommended a character Radio into Object Mayhem, which was Sammy Shanks. But they're not in the Object Show community anymore. He left like years ago. But Radio appeared in BFDI as a recommended character in season 1, and they were also in Object Mayhem too by the same creator. So yeah, but they were supposed to be in season 2 of Object Mayhem. Never put them in. And who else was supposed to be in? Lantern. I was gonna put in Lantern as well into season 2, but Lantern had no speaking role. It had no speaking. He had no lines or anything. So I didn't really want to have a silent character. It would be cool to have a silent character, but I really want to have a character just like stayed there and said nothing and just changed facial expressions. So Lantern was scrapped too. Toast was going to be in season 2, but as I said before, but like I didn't really want Toast to, because everyone kind of already knew Toast's personality, and Toast had a fair chance of competing and everything. So like the last few episodes of Object Mayhem, like before Toast was eliminated, was very based on Toast. Like Toast was very prominent to the show from episode 9 to episode 13 or 14 when they were eliminated. So Toast had the time to shine, so I took her out as well. So there's a lot of characters I took out, and the decision making of the characters was done very carefully. So I'm happy enough with the characters I picked for season 2. Not everyone likes them, but you can't have everyone. I couldn't have it if I was gonna have everyone. It'd end up like BFB, where you have like 64 characters, and you have to have the split then. So I mean, as much as I love to do that, it just wasn't feasible to have all the characters in, like 20 contestants in season 1, and new characters as well, like 30 characters in total. Adding the recommended characters in there too. May as well add in Xylophone too. Everyone have about 40 characters in Object Mayhem season 2.
Like that. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that, but like, who knows? We could obviously see with some of these characters in season 3 with Object Mayhem Global.
Yeah, exactly. Object Mayhem Global has no restrictions.
But speaking of, what was the idea behind Object Global? Well, Object Mayhem Global. Sorry.
Object Mayhem Global. I hated the whole the competition-based aspect of Object shows. I feel it's so unoriginal and it's been done so much. And I remember watching Modern Objects last year. I think it was last year or a bit over last year. And I was looking at Modern Objects. It's not a competition-based show. I don't know if you've seen Modern Objects by Ricktoons, but it's a really good object show.
I have. I'm actually. It's upsetting to see that it's no longer happening anymore. But I could see where Rick is coming from, and like.
Yeah. So it's a really good show, and I think it's really well written. And the thing about that is that there's no voting or anything, so they can really write whatever they want in the show. So that was a good thing about Modern Objects. So Ricktoons, wrote the episode, and they basically, didn't have a competition aspect to the show. It's just basically characters doing what characters are doing. You get to know the characters better. And I feel a competition-based show, you have so many characters you have to focus on. You have 15 characters you have to focus on. It's very hard. Like not many shows have 15 characters you have to focus on. You have to fit into a 20-minute episode. It's very hard to do that, to be honest. To fit in 15 different personalities of characters into a 20-minute episode or 10-minute episode. That's very hard to do, to be honest. So I feel like most shows don't even do that. Even on TV, you don't have a show where it's like 15 main characters, and they're all you have to introduce all of them at the same time, and you have to have them doing stuff. That's the same thing with BFB. The first BFB, there's 64 characters. Realistically, it's pretty impossible to give 64 characters screen time equally, and you have to break it up into segments and stuff like that. You have these characters doing this and then that and that, and you have to like the whole Book and Gatey whole thing and Taco. They had that plot going on for a while, but at the same time they had other stuff going on. But it's very hard to put everything together, especially for a first-time watcher. So with Object Mayhem Global, what I try to achieve is focus on a few characters per episode. So the first episode focuses on like about 4 or 5 characters, 6 characters maybe. And it has a whole plot revolving them and everything like that. And then that's better. I feel that's better because you only have to focus on 6 characters rather than having to break your back to focus on 15 characters and try to give all of them screen time. So now you can just develop your 6 characters you have in that episode and not have to worry about any other characters kind of trying to butt in. So that's the good thing about Object Mayhem Global. I wanted it to be every episode I can focus on a few select characters and develop those characters and their personalities and how they're like and everything like that, and the whole world around them, while not having to worry about it's being a competition-based show or having the stress of that. So that's really the reason I did that.
Yeah, like it's going to be really exciting to see because like Although I was upset hearing that obviously like Object Mayhem Season 2 is cancelled, it's glad to see that there's characters going to be like returning and stuff like that, because obviously you said that there is still a possibility of seeing some of the favourites that didn't get into Season 2 coming back.
Yeah.
And then like obviously like seeing some of these characters still grow as grow out from not only being no longer in a competition kind of setting, and instead of being like in a usual like day-to-day basis. Like that sounds more
Yeah,
interesting to me than anything else.
exactly. It's way more interesting because the whole object show thing of competition is so overdone right now. Like so, like how many object shows do we have? We have like 50 object shows or whatever. And I mean, like there's probably a bit more than that. But I mean, like currently running object shows probably have like 50
I mean,
object shows.
if you want an exact number, I could give you one.
Well, you wrote down all of them.
No, well, sort of. Like because of the fact that I've been like helping some people with not only they're doing review shows, but I've also been like looking at object shows because obviously for this like I had to look at creators and stuff like that. See some creators who either A are wouldn't say popular as yourself, but like popular, but to basically give their opinions to help people with their shows and stuff like that. But as well as giving a platform to smaller creators who don't have that big of a platform just yet. But I do want to see, but do have the potential of growing it. So like,
Okay.
so like it's like one of those things. But
yeah, I understand what you mean. So that's basically my point. Like, there's so many object shows, and all those object shows, I don't see much difference. I remember Websrevs was saying a while ago, I think a year ago, Websrev said that object shows are just really bad in general because a lot of them are made by kids, which is true. A lot of object shows are just bad in general, in my opinion. There is good object shows, but when I say bad, I'm comparing it to BFDI or BFB or Nana Design standards. Like most object shows are bad compared to them. Like Object Mayhem is technically bad compared to BFDI and that. But like Object Mayhem, I'd say if I compare Object Mayhem to the whole object show community, I'd just say Object Mayhem's average. But if I compare it to like BFDI or Nanim's Insanity, I just think Object Mayhem is bad then. But that's most object shows, because most object shows are not the standard of BFDI or Nanim's Insanity. But the main reason behind that is because they have like a whole team, like BFDI and Amazon. They have like money backing them. They have like Patreons. They have a lot of stuff. Like they have like 30 animators in BFB. They have the writers, really good writers. They have the best writers in the OSC. They have the best animators in the OSC. The best graphic designers. They have everything. So BFB has to be good because it has everything going for it. So while other object shows are just started by kids, which don't have much experience in the whole animating background or don't have much experience in the writing background. So their shows are just likely to come out worse. Doesn't mean that they're not working hard on it. It's like, of course, people are working hard on their shows, but if it comes out bad, that's not really their fault. It's just most people don't have the whole team that BFDI has behind them. That's the thing. If some people did have that and had the best, if Object Mayhem had the best writers, I had the best, the best writers in the OSC, the best animators in the OSC, the best graphic designers in the OSC, everything, the best audio pre-processors. Like Object Mayhem would be probably as good as BFDI as well, because you'd have the best people being involved in your show. But most other shows don't have that, so that's the reason they're not going to come out
and
good.
like
It's kids.
but that's the thing. It's like because of the fact that there's some people who don't give like other object shows a chance and would rather just watch like I and BFB. Like, yeah, go do that, but like at least try and give some other object shows a chance as well, because like that's the whole thing that I'm trying to do here. Is just like not only I'm getting like yourself to come and help out others who might need some questions answered, like about voice acting and stuff like that, but it's just also just to make sure that there is some people out there who do have like the idea of wanting to make their own object show, and like say, yeah, like obviously like Adobe is going to be hard to get because like I don't even have Adobe. I'm not doing like my object show in Adobe. It's hard to animate with that because it costs a lot of money.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
like a person like me who's in a family who doesn't really get that much money because of the whole like coronavirus right now. Like that's really hard for me to get currently. So like you just need to make do what you have. And
Yeah,
like that's the whole thing what I like about object shows. It's like there's like going to be different styles no matter what, because like what I admire from modern objects was that it wasn't following the whole BFDI assets and stuff like that. It was like its own different style with its own setting to be like something original.
yeah, exactly. That's a good thing
And
about
like
it.
and the writing of it was just like top notch. It was just chef's kiss. But like just one of those
Exactly.
things. It's like you don't need, in my opinion, I don't think you need to have the best like animation skills,
Oh yeah,
but like
definitely.
as long as you've got a good story to tell, that's what's gonna get people interested.
Yeah, it'll get people interested, but at the same time, everyone's looking for different stuff in the object show community, and most of the object show community is obviously kids. Like we have, the object show community is the people that actually animate, so we have people outside of the whole animation stuff, people that don't actually write shows or anything. You have the fans of like BFDI and then the fans who don't actually write anything, they just watch the shows. So you have them, and what they're looking for is obviously looking for storyline, but most of them are just kids, so they're more looking for like, very nice polished animation, as in something that's going to catch your eye initially. And if nice animation doesn't catch your eye initially, they're not really going to stick around for the actual show. That's the thing. So like if you saw a show that was like made in PowerPoint, so first, let's say a kid saw a show was made in PowerPoint, and then they saw BFDI, for example, with the whole polished animation, they probably just go watch the BFDI one. Even if the PowerPoint show had better plots and everything, it's just the way kids work. They just like they see something that's really colorful and moving, and they're like, okay, I'll go watch that instead. But that's the thing I said. Like obviously, Kerry and Michael were saying there's two different sides of the object show community. One side we're there for just nice animation and what you call it, very polished animation, all that stuff. And the other side we're there for actual deep storylines, which was more Teapot had like really good storylines, had great animation, had all that. And then BFB just had just the silly BFDI, not amazing animation, but still good, that kind of stuff. But that's why more people, I suppose, like Teapots, because it has everything. It has the great animation, it has the great storyline, all that. While BFB is more, it's kind of more like, reminds me of season one, really, BFB. But to be honest, I don't know. I like BFB before the split's better than.
Yeah, I think a lot of us preferred the BFB before the split, to be honest.
Yeah.
Um,
There are some episodes that are all right after the split. I like the Donut's Diary episode, and I didn't really like the last. I mean, I didn't mind the last episode. I mean, I liked it. I did a review on it, and I gave it a 8 out of 10. It's all right. I liked it, but it's not compared to like BFB 13 and BFB 14 and BFB 15. Like those are like classical episodes, or BFB 12 even. Those are really good episodes.
I think what sucks here for BFB, in my opinion, is just that I think they're more focused on getting Flower to win than anybody else, because they're starting to get more of a spotlight within the since the split. Actually, they've been getting more of a spotlight. Like, yeah, we've got that fiery and leafy moment. Yeah, we got Gelatin there and Gelatin and Lollipop, and then we've got like Teardrop and stuff like that. Which, by the way, like for a silent character, Teardrop did so well.
Yeah, Teardrop did really well. And it was unfortunate that Teardrop got eliminated. She was just being very competitive, but
no, because but that was the thing. But that's the thing. Like, there's been basically like some people who played a better game than most of the people who were still in the game, and Teardrop was one of them who played a better game than the final two. Because because in my opinion, I feel like what's happening here is that it's going to be obvious that Flower's going to win, because I like Gelatin and all that, but he wasn't well liked, and he was in the bottom two like a lot of the time as well.
Yeah, well, he's the only character not to ever get eliminated, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, but for him to be in the finale with Flower of all people is not looking good for him.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I just felt that Flower got an unfair advantage in the last episode. I mean, if she didn't save the show, I still think she would have won anyway. But the fact she saved the show, I feel that's propelled her advantages of winning way more than it would have. I know she still would have won it regardless, but I felt it would have been a little bit more closer. But now I feel she got probably 75% of the votes now to win. But maybe if she didn't save the show, she probably would have got maybe only 60% of the votes. So I don't know. I just felt it just gave her a bit of an unfair advantage, and I felt the last few episodes are really pushing Flower to kind of, win. I don't know. No, Flowers. I mean, it's really cool, like Flowers' character development over, BFDI and BFD.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like, I do like Flower as a character. I do like the fact that they're getting a new arc and stuff like that. And yeah, it would be cool to see the first character ever to be eliminated finally win, but it feels more forced, and I don't particularly like that. Like, if you're going to have a character like them be in the game, I'd rather them trying to do stuff, failing. Obviously, we've seen Flower going back into her old actions at some points, but it just feels forced. Shit! I just realized we've been talking about this for for the last 20 minutes, and we've got a few questions here. Shit!
I'm very sidetracked.
Oh Jesus! Right. Okay. Well, back to the question. Oh my god! I can't believe I went through this. Right. So one of the things I did want to ask you was, because obviously since you have been in the community since 2012, what is the difference between the community back then till now for yourself?
Well, it's way bigger now. That's the one thing. Way bigger, because back then, when I was in the community back then, there was just, as I said, me, Animation Epic, Samuel Thornberry, and the Hung Twins. It was just them, and just us that made object shows. Those were the only object shows. Was BFDI, Inam Society, Object Universe, and Object Mayhem. Those were the only object shows. There were probably other object shows here and there, but they weren't really recognized that much. But those were the main object shows that everyone watched. Was those shows, and yeah, that's the biggest difference, because now we have we've had over 100 object shows since then. Loads of different animation talents, everything. Because back then, the only people that could really animate were us four. Those 4 shows, those are the only people that could animate at all, even animate a show. And yeah, so that was back in 2012. And yeah, there's a lot of change since then. The community is bigger, there's more people, more talents. The only thing that hasn't really changed is the amount of drama. Because I remember back in the day, there was a lot of drama back in the day in the audio community. Back in 2012, even 2013, there was a lot of drama in the audio community. And to be honest, I was stupid enough to get involved in it back in 2012, to be honest, when it first happened. Because I remember there was a bit of drama here and there, people just doing stupid stuff back in the day, and then no one would really get cancelled. People would be toxic, but the toxic people would stay in the community, if you get me. But now these days, if you have someone toxic, they're kind of driven out of the community or shunned. But back then, if someone was toxic, they'd still be there. They'd be there a year later and still be toxic. So because no one really called them out on their actions, because there was no Discord or anything. So if you were toxic in the community, you were just toxic and you're just there. And yeah, unfortunately, I got involved in some stupid dramas back then. That's when I only had 600 subscribers or something. And I used to get involved in really stupid drama with people, and petty stuff, really. And some people just oh, Object Mayhem sucks, and then just stupid drama like that. And then people would vandalize people's Wikipedias. I know some people would vandalize Object Mayhem's Wikipedia, then some drama would start there. Some people would randomly just be racist. So
kind of find that funny, to be honest, because it's just Because it's just one of those things where it's just like, oh yeah, these people were making fun of like Object Mayhem, but look who the losers are now. 33,000 subscribers.
Yeah, but it's at the same time, it doesn't make Object Mayhem any better. But back then, people would just troll just for like trolling was really big back then. So people would just troll just for the sake of trolling. So some people would just like come on my videos and dislike them for no reason, and then the new episode of Object Mayhem would come out, and they would get dislike bots and just dislike. The episode had like 50 dislikes, like within 10 minutes. It was funny, but I didn't care. But yeah, that was back then. That was like drama and stuff like that. That happened. Samuel Thornberry never really got involved in any drama, not that I remember anyway. Because me and him were really good friends when because we both started our shows together. We both we were both starting Object Universe and Object Mayhem. We were like we'd advertise each other's shows and everything like that, and we make them brother shows and everything. So he never really got involved in drama. It was just really me back then. But yeah, after I stopped like after a year when I kind of grew up, and like was like when I was like 14 or 15, I was kind of like, the hell am I doing? But I'm like starting drama people like 3,000 miles away or whatever. So yeah, so I haven't. So I mean, till this day, I don't get involved in drama. Like, I mean, some people try to rope me into drama these days, but I just don't. Just not arse getting involved in drama, really. I have better things to be doing. So. I mean, every time an Object Mayhem episode comes out, I see that's when some trolls come out. You get me? And that's when all the critics come out and stuff. And I mean, I'm just used to that really, and I find it funny, to be honest. Like, some people are just there and they're critiquing Object Mayhem and being so harsh about it. I'm just like sitting here. I don't care. I'm making a show to entertain people. I'm not trying to make a show to put on TV or broadcast or anything. So when people start like nitpicking stuff and being like, oh, Ultratoons is so stupid because he did this to a show, like, guys, I'm just sitting here, just making a show for fun, I'm just sitting here making a show for fun. But I said that I don't care, like, this all comes with being in, a well-known name in the Object Show community. So
yeah, because it's not like Object Mayhem is going to be put on Netflix or something. So
yeah, exactly. So that's why I see when people are very harsh towards people's Object Show. It's good to give criticism, but at the same time, I don't think you should harass people for the way their show looks like or anything like that. I think you should just like give criticism, so like, oh, I don't like this about your show, or give people ways to improve their show. Some people just go onto people's shows just to hate, but not to give any advice or anything. Just like, oh no, your show sucks. It's so bad. It's terrible. But they won't give any criticism on how to help it. That's it. So I see, like, when Object Mayhem episodes come out on Discord, I see some people, come out of their shell and, oh, this episode was shit, by the way. But they don't give any way to really help the show. Just want to shit on it. I just find that funny, to be honest. I said I don't care. I don't care personally because I've been in the Object Show community for years. But there is people that are not like me that would actually care. They're smaller creators that only started making their Object Show, and it's kind of demotivating when you see people just shitting on your show, if you get me. And that's the thing. But for me, I don't mind because I've been through it. I know I've been here for years. I don't care. Nothing's really gonna get to me at all. Like, nothing's ever got to me. Like since I made Object Mayhem season 2, people will say this and that, but nothing gets to me because I don't care. Because at the same time, it's just a show. I don't take it that seriously. But there is people that are
I mean, I feel like yourself in Object Mayhem is like a perfect example of a show creator who got picked on for being like one of the weaker shows within the community and stuff like that, compared to and like obviously now growing into like a channel where people are starting to put more and more recognition into Object Mayhem to the point where like it's became one of the staples of the OSC.
Yeah,
it's like a nice rounded circle there for you. It's just like it's like not trying to make an example, but it's like flowers. Like once you were made like the like one of the hated people, and now you're well known. You're liked. You're basically one of the main key features to the community, and it's like glad that obviously you haven't left the community, and like glad that you haven't,
yeah,
gave
like
up.
I got happy with the way Object Mayhem is going and everything like that. You know, as I said, there is going to be people not going to like it. And as I said, I can take that. I can take people hating Object Mayhem. I don't mind that. I can take that because I've been getting this for years. Whatever, I don't care. I always focus on the good comments because there's way more good comments. Just like a few people will, troll and stuff like that, and like just like hate on the show. But as I said, I don't mind because I'm used to it. I'm fine. But there is people that are younger and people that are like starting off their shows, and people will just shit on their shows. I'm like, you don't understand what this can do to people because not everyone has the same mentality as me. So wherever people could say stuff about my show, I don't mind. But there's some other people that have smaller shows, and they're just trying to make a show, and they're trying their best. And imagine trying your best for months, and then your show comes out, and then you have loads of people that are shitting on you and saying this is horrible. I mean, I don't know. I see it happen to like different people's shows, and I'm just thinking it's already nice. It's already nice to see people just like shitting on people's shows for no reason. Or I mean, fair enough, give people criticism, but some people just like shit on people's shows like entirely, and I don't really understand why. That's a toxic thing about the community, but whatever. It is what it is, to be honest. But that's a big change. That's one thing that stayed the same. Sorry, in the Object Show community from now compared to the past. So yeah, the big change, obviously, we have more people here and more trolls. So
yes, because we support the trolls apparently.
Yeah, and we have more NSFW stuff as well.
Oh yeah, yep. Okay. Next question. Okay, so we've got a few more questions left, and then we'll move on to the live chat for the last few minutes, and then we're gonna finish up. So my next question is obviously for a future object show creator. Do you have any advice for anybody who wants to make an object show? Like we obviously touched on this just a little bit earlier, but like,
advice.
Do you have advice for some of these people who do want to?
To be honest, my advice to people would be to plan your object show before you do anything. Some people just, are like, I'm just going to dive into an object show, but it's not that easy. Sometimes I feel spend a month, 2 months, 3 months planning your object show, and, don't just want to try and get it out there as soon as possible. Try to have auditions. Some people try to rush into the object show. Some people think of an object show to make like last month, and the first episode's out 2 months later. You obviously didn't think much about it before you made it. So I think the best thing to do is like get a PowerPoint or whatever, not PowerPoint, sorry. Get Excel or whatever, and then put in who you want to voice this character, all that. Like have a plan sheet, and then go on Microsoft Word and write down each character's personalities, which character who's this character going to interact with throughout the series, and have a plot for your show, as in like from start to finish. Let's say your show is viewer voting, you can kind of guess who's going to be eliminated. But at the same time, if you're going to have one storyline running the show, try and plot that storyline from start to finish. Don't make it up as you go along, because then you're not going to know where you're going with it. I feel like if you're, like, for example, I had the whole gun storyline in Object Mayhem, and we already knew what was going to happen with that from start to finish before we actually even started writing it or anything like that. But obviously the season ended, so we never really implemented it fully. But because obviously, as you see, Mirror in episode 3 of season 3 was like Gunn was supposed to build a nuke last season, but the season never finished, so that never happened. But we had the whole story plotted from start to finish, and I feel that's what most people should do if they're going to have an object show. Plot the story from start to finish, plan everything, make sure you plan everything, and get help if you can. There's no harm asking for help. Ask people for help, and who else? Obviously, don't give up. Don't listen to like haters or anything. If people don't like your show, not everyone's gonna like your show. Just make sure you improve from the next episode. I don't think people should like. I don't think that we're gonna go from one episode like that's bad to the next episode being amazing. But so far, the next episode is better than the previous episode. Then you're making progress. So yeah, that's my advice. Just keep trying to progress each episode rather than try and like get to BFB standards. You can't jump to BFB standards in one episode, but if you can have a little more progress than the last episode, and that's an achievement, to be honest. So yeah, just don't give up and plan everything, and yeah, just stay headstrong. That's pretty much that on our show.
Alrighty. We have 2 more questions now. So, second to last question is obviously, what's your so you've actually touched on this with me the other day, but what's your future plans with the community?
So as I was saying the other day, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do after Object Mayhem Global, but for Object Mayhem Global, I see Object Mayhem Global lasting another 3 years maybe. So by that time I'll be 25-ish. So that's my mid-20s. So I see Object Mayhem Global. I'll do it for another 3 years. I'll work on it here and there, and then I'll release a few episodes. Hopefully within 3 years I'll have maybe like 7-8 episodes released of Object Mayhem Global, probably more. And yeah, I'll release some episodes, and then after Object Mayhem Global is done, I feel that's really me finished with the, not finished with the Object Show community, but finished with the Object Mayhem chapter of the OSC. Whether I decide to make another Object Show, probably won't, but we never know. If there's demand for it, I might, but I highly doubt that. But I could make another Object Show. I'd probably, make other animations on my channel, like that's not Object Show related. There's different stuff I can do. So I just feel after the next 3 years, after Object Mayhem, okay, Object Mayhem is definitely going to wrap up within the next 3 years anyway. And after that's done, I just feel after that, I'll probably focus on other animations. There's other animations I want to make, there's other shows I want to make and stuff like that. So I feel after Object Mayhem is done, that's Object Mayhem's role done in the OSC, I suppose. So yeah, but that's not me finishing the OSC, but that's Object Mayhem done in the OSC. I'll still probably make like BFDI fan animations or something like that. But in regards to Object Mayhem, within the next 3 years, that's Object Mayhem really done. So I suppose cherish these next 3 years, because that's the last 3 years of Object Mayhem really. And after that, yeah, then that's Object Mayhem done finally.
Okay, and let's go with our final question. And just going to ask real quickly, how have you, if hopefully you've been enjoying this so far, guys, and it's hopefully you've been having fun here, Ultra, because like I said, like I do respect you as a creator within this community, and I'm actually so glad that you did agree to come on here and to
cheers
voice your opinion, because like no matter what, everybody's opinion within the community matters. So our last question is just going to be a small question, and it's just going to be obviously we talked about your future plans within the community, but obviously what's going to be your future plans for moving on? Because obviously you said yourself the other day you weren't planning on sticking around with the community for the rest of your life. You're planning to go into finance and all that, didn't you?
Yeah. So you're asking me what's my future plans after?
Yep.
Well, I suppose like within the community or just in general?
In general.
Oh, in general. Well, right now I'm in my final year of economics and financial maths, and I'm hoping to do a master's come September. So as I said, obviously college is going to be very intense, especially from doing a master's. I don't know if they call it masters as well in the UK, like after you finish your undergraduate. But basically a master's is after you finish your undergraduate degree, which is 4 years, then you have a master's degree, which is like in level 9, and that's like a higher version of your degree. So basically I'm planning on going into the finance side and everything like that, working in an insurance company or something like that, or might work in the marketing industry maybe. Like, I don't know yet, like so much stuff I can do. So I want to explore that side of myself more, and I do like Object Mayhem and the whole animation side, but I feel that's something more that I enjoy as a child, and as I grew older, I kind of distance away from that a bit because my interests kind of change. So I want to really see, before I reach my, late 20s or whatever, I want to see what other stuff I can do in my life, I might find another interest I like, I might find, another hobby. I don't know yet, but my future plans is basically to be qualified in finance, in economics, do my master's, and then after that, I'll see what happens really. So that's my plans for my actual life anyway. And then for the OSC, as I said, Object Mayhem wraps up in 3 years, and then after it wraps up, we'll take it from there and see what happens.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for answering all my questions.
No
Alrighty. We're going to move on to the live questions for the last couple of minutes, and then we're going to finish up. So, I'd say we could answer about maybe 4 questions.
Yeah, sure.
So Tippers have asked, Ultra, what's your favorite character to write for?
Favorite character to write for? I'd probably say Notebook, to be honest, because he's just like a really spontaneous character. I feel like it's no real like structure to what Notebook can say because he's just a really silly character. And same thing with Toast as well. I really like writing for Toast because it was so random what you can say compared to people like Cactus. Cactus, what he says, is a bit more serious toned. Same thing with Calculator. It's a bit more host vibe, but with Notebook and Toast, you can really say whatever, You can just like, they're funny characters, so you can really say whatever. So yeah, no restrictions with those characters.
Alrighty. Tenpenny has asked, Ultra, besides from Object Mayhem, BFB, and Inanimate Insanity, what other object shows do you like to watch?
I've watched Object Universe. I've watched a few other shows, but like two other shows where I've watched the entirety of it would probably just be Modern Objects and let's see. What else have I watched? I mean, I've watched animation object shows. Object show called Battle for Luxurious Hotel. What else have I watched? I've watched many other shows in their entirety. That's the only thing. Like I've watched other shows, like parts, like episodes of object shows, like object show here and there. But there's only probably I don't know, a few other shows I've actually watched from start to finish. I've watched Extraordinarily Excellent.
Extraordinarily Excellent. Yeah, that's a tongue twister for one.
Yeah.
Just gonna say this, Webs, if you end up coming up here, what the fuck is with the name?
Well, yeah, I watched that. I like that show as well. I haven't watched it in a while though, but also Paper Puppets, I like that show too. It's really good too.
I mean, you said to me yesterday as well that you do plan on I mean, do you want me to reveal this information?
Oh yeah. Like Object Mayhem Global is gonna be Paper Puppets.
Yeah, you said you're going to put your season 3 is Paper Puppet style, so with not having like full on lip synced mouse, but still around that kind of point.
Yeah, does have like not fully lip synced, but it's got an animatic version of Object Mayhem, so it'll still be good. Still have the Object Mayhem charm in it, but it'll be different type animation because I didn't want to have the animation the same as the other 2 seasons because I wanted to have a little bit different, because of season 3. It's no point having season 3 the exact same animation as the other previous 2 seasons because just like, why didn't you just continue on season 2? There was no difference then between. So I want to make season 3 a lot different, the style different, the art style a little bit different, the background's a bit different, just have a, kind of.
That's fair. Sorry if I mispronounced this name. Nisima has asked, what was the idea of Phone's design?
Of whose design? Phone.
Phone.
I don't even know, to be honest. I couldn't tell you. It's probably just, I probably just found an image of Google Images and then I was like, oh yeah, this looks cool, we'll just do it. But I don't think phone wasn't really based on like an iPhone or anything, because back then, I suppose iPhones weren't really that popular, smartphones or anything. So it was basically based on like a flip phone or whatever, or not even a flip phone, just like one of those brick phones. But it's like a brick phone, but at the same time, it's like half smartphone. So, yeah. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. So yeah, that's what phone was based on. It wasn't really based on like an iPhone or anything like that. It's basically based on probably just found a phone on Google Images and I was like, oh, this is cool, and then just use that then.
Okay. This will be our last question before we finish. This is from Artificial Deluxe. My question is, how did you come up with the name Ultratoons?
Yeah, that's actually a good question because when I actually it was actually inspired by Animation Epic's name. So my channel before I had Ultratoons was called Kingsley 2468. That was my channel, and obviously that channel got hacked. So yeah, didn't have that channel anymore. So that's but I already had Ultratoons made previously already, and the reason I made Ultratoons was or just like to put on other animations that weren't related to Object Mayhem. So Kingsley 2468 is supposed to be specifically Object Mayhem, while Ultratoons was supposed to be any animations that weren't Object Mayhem related. So when I made Ultratoons, I was thinking, what should I, Animation Epic has something, Animation Epic. It's animation that you have Epic. So it's a pretty cool name. So I was thinking, I want to have a name that's similar. So I was thinking, what could I say? I want to have something that contains cartoons in it as well. So I was like, instead of cartoons, I was supposed to be ultra cartoons. So I was like, I was shorten it to tunes instead. And then I was like, what can I say instead of, epic? Because I mentioned epic. I was like, instead of epic, it would be, I don't know, I was thinking of different names, spitballing names, like, amazing cartoon, amazing tunes, mega tunes, and eventually came with Ultratoons. And originally it was Tunes Ultra, then that made no sense, so I flipped it back to Ultratoons, and then here we are. I think it worked out pretty well, though.
Alrighty. Alrighty, that's our last question.
Yeah.
With that being said, that's us now finishing up. So, thank you so much for coming on. Like, this was honestly such a fun time to be being on with you.
Oh, thanks. Like, I had fun as well. It's great.
Do you have anything to? Do you have anything else to add on before we finish?
Not really. Just, I suppose, stay tuned for Object Mayhem Global. Object Mayhem's not going anywhere. So yeah, Object Mayhem Season 2 isn't cancelled technically. So it's still gonna come out. Just have to be patient. But yeah.
And like obviously pet your friendly neighborhood toon. Just
yeah, of course.
just pet the boy. Just pet the boy. But yeah. Alrighty, so that was a lot of fun. I'm so glad that you decided to deal with my ass for about 2 hours.
Yeah, flew by.
Obviously, if you guys haven't already, please go and subscribe to Ultratoons for more content. And obviously, do you have anything else to plug in?
No, I'm not really a plug person, but subscribe to Andy anyway.
Oh, thank you. No, but yeah. So subscribe to Ultratoons. Do you have any? Do you want to say your last words before I drag you into hell?
Any last words?
Any last words before I drag you into hell?
Object Mayhem Global's coming soon.
Yes. Okay. Thank you guys for coming on and watching. If you guys like what you see, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and like if you guys would like to see Ultratoons back here again, like later within the year, then maybe we'll see him again. But definitely go subscribe to him. Go subscribe to me. Hopefully we'll see you guys next week. I might have a break next week though, so who knows. And yeah, thank you guys for coming along, and thank you for watching. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.